opportunities. Ben has spoken in Congress, he's lobbied both in Texas and in Washington, D.C. for dyslexic rights, and is developing mathrules.org to promote college and career readiness for students with unique learning needs. Please welcome Ben.
Hi everybody, my name is Ben. Today, I'm just going to talk about a variety of different things, but one of them is mainly testing. And what I've noticed with testing is that we're testing kids on their reading comprehension in higher grades, not on their decoding. So why are we not allowing students to have the access to the information they need? Why are we saying you can't have this because it's considered listening? And why are we not allowing kids to have audio readers on their tests so they can access the information? Because now we have these groups of kids. We have the kids that can test very well. We have the kids that can read everything they're given. We have the kids that have the disabilities that can't access this information. So we're basically segregating ourselves inside the school. Now, everybody can say, well, these schools are great because they get rid of segregation. Everybody's mingling together. Well, that's not what's happening when you get down to the fine details. You have these kids that think they're stupid because all they've heard their whole entire life is, you're stupid because you didn't make it past this test. You're stupid because you can't read. But that's not true. They're not stupid. When are we going to stop taking the idea of tests are everything? It's like saying, here, we're not going to allow you to have the information, and this test is going to define who you are and where you're going to go. That shouldn't be what's going on in this day. We're in a society where everything is accessible at our fingertips. We can just take a phone and almost look up anything we want. But we're still letting our students sit in a classroom and use old techniques, right? So we have these two groups, like I said. We have the ones that are really great testers and the ones that really aren't. And we have these two schools. We have the schools for the great testers and the schools for the kids that aren't good testers. And frankly, what's happening now is the good schools are the ones for the good testers, and the schools that may not have as much stuff, the stuff that the kids need, are the schools that the kids aren't good testers. And then we have these schools, the good schools, with all the good students, quote unquote. They're all great. They say, we have the best teachers. We are the best schools that you can possibly think of. They say these false accusations. We have these students here that are smart. They're very smart. But you have these kids here that may be smarter, but yet we're holding them back. And if you think about that, why would we hold them back to where they need to go? It's counterproductive. We're in a society today where everything should be accessible. Why aren't we using the technology we'll be using later on in life? Why aren't we teaching our students to use the technology throughout everything? Instead of just saying, you'll be able to use it when you get out of college or when you get into college, we should be saying you should be able to use it now. We should prepare these kids for what's going on outside, not for what's going on inside. Because, let's face it, the real world isn't in school. School is kind of our barrier, and we should open up that barrier sometimes to some of the new technologies and things that are out there. And if we have these tests that are just testing kids on their quote-unquote reading comprehension or how well they do at math without any accommodations, well, it's just saying, well, here's a blank sheet of paper to one kid and give the other kid all this information. Well, let's just say, who here wears glasses? Raise their hand. What would you do if you had to read a document and have like a complete contract? You had to either sign it or let it go. And if you let it go, then you're done. You're not going to go anywhere. And you didn't have your glasses, and you can't read it that well. How are you, and then you have this other kid. He knows exactly what's on there. He knows everything. He can change it, maybe do whatever he wants. He can ask questions about it. But you're that one kid that can't do anything to it because you don't know anything on there. That's right, we can't help you because you're that kid. We don't allow stuff on this. I'm sorry, even though this is going out and you're going to go and choose what college you're going to, what job, maybe anything, we're not going to allow you to have the accommodations you need. Now, it's heartbreaking because you see these kids that have the potential, have everything they need, but they either don't have the support or they don't have the right accommodations they need on the test. And it's where we're seeing the disconnect. And we're at this age where technology is being used throughout every job. Everywhere you can think of, there's technology. And to not use it in our day-to-day stance and standpoints of where we're going and how we need to just, like, we need to bring it together because it's losing an opportunity that we have. And what we're not seeing is that we have these bright students that have everything. Everybody here is a very bright student. I can tell that already. But some of them might have troubles on certain things. And to say that they're not bright because they have trouble on one certain thing is not correct. To say that intelligence is proven by a test is not correct. And that's where we're struggling today with our society. And it's also the appeal factor. Now, I've heard a lot about STEM, and I think a lot more students would love to go into STEM, the program. I love to go into it without any incentive, but I think STEM needs a little more. I mean, we have all these other programs out there that have art and all these fun things that kids love to do, but we're not focusing on technology as much. And so kids may think that it's going to be boring because all we're going to focus on is math, problems, and just do that all day. And we need that incentive, something for the kids to do hands-on and just to keep them interested. And if we don't have tests every single day to make sure that kid is smart, maybe we'll get somewhere, because having tests that aren't accommodating aren't good. Now, if we had tests that had accommodations to where you could have people read it to you and you could access the information, that would be a day where every student is smart to their ability and every student has the right to do whatever they want. But right now we're holding our students back in our society, and I don't think that should be happening.
Awesome. That was awesome.